What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Clayface movie and the upcoming teases for this film and its new introduction into the DCU. It's me and my girl, so she's going to ask me a couple questions that she's curious about. I know a lot of people have questions about this movie, why it's one of the very first films to be introduced into the DCU. It seems like a very odd choice to have Clayface be one of like the first 5 movies into the universe. But hey, that means they have a crazy idea, a very good story to tell, it seems like, because this is very random, you know? It's like, you don't go for like a story like this unless you got something good, and that's what it seems like. So, I mean, if James Gunn has confidence of getting this movie made, then I'm all up for it. You got any questions, babe?
I feel like I have so many questions, but it's just because I don't know a lot about the character itself. Like, I do know who Clayface is. I do not know the whole background of where he comes from or how he came to be. I do hope to see, as we've seen James Gunn done before, he really gets you to know the character and he gets you to get attached in a way. Like, he makes you understand the characters so well. So I'm very curious about how this is going to end. I guess like my first picture is what do you think is going to happen on the movie? Like, are we gonna get the background of it, or is it something going to happen? Like, cause I have no idea.
So here's the thing. We already got Clayface, Maria. If you remember, he was in Creature Commandos. Do you remember?
I do barely though, cause like, yeah, it was in Creature Commandos, but it was just barely there. Like,
Yeah.
Mando should have had more episodes. That's all I'm gonna say. I needed more from that.
Not only more episodes, but more longer episodes, if anything. The episodes were really short in that show. The show was good, but that was the main problem with that show, was the fact that like the episodes were insanely short. But yes, this Clayface was already introduced into the DCU, as crazy as that sounds. He was already introduced in the DCU in Creature Commandos. The biggest question is, we don't know if it's the same person that's going to be in this movie, because a very specific actor, very good looking, no homo, handsome looking actor playing Clayface. There's been sad photos revealed with this actor playing the character already. They're filming right now as we speak in Liverpool, if I'm getting this correct. It's a lot of the same locations as the Batman 2022 Matt Reeves, the Batman film, has been shooting. But I gotta say, I mean, this is like giving me the vibe of like the Joker of 2019, when people were saying that movie was a masterpiece before like the second one was trash. The first one was pretty good, right? It seems like this is gonna be the same type of situation. I don't really know the director like that's gonna make this movie. I don't know what's his reputation and what he does, but I have confidence that this movie is gonna be very different and unique and not gonna be your typical like superhero film. Obviously, it's not a superhero film. This is a villain film, right? This is gonna be an origin story, a character story, body horror type of story. I'm just trying to figure out if the one in Show of Creature Commandos is the same one or relatively close to the one in the show. But we'll figure that out when this movie comes out next year. What do you have to say? Any questions that you have for me that I got answers for you and maybe some viewers?
I feel like I have questions regarding more like why Clayface. I do know that Clayface is his powers are pretty OP in a win the way if like he kind of shapeshifts into anybody he wants. Which is kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie, because you never know, right? My question would be like, why do you think Clayface is one of the first DCU movies? Like, why is it so interesting about him, or what starts with him that makes him one of the first movies centered about like somebody specifically in DCU that we're going to be seeing?
Good question. Yeah, that's a really good question. And I wish I could answer that because I don't even know myself. I mean, James Gunn seems like he's the only person to know, and a director that pitched this film, the script, right? Because James Gunn is not making a movie unless the script is finished. He's mentioned that multiple times. He's not making a movie unless the script is really good. And that seems like to be the main reason here. They have a really good script for this movie, and that's the main reason they want to do this. They don't want to do this because they're big Clayface fans. I mean, yeah, they are, but they're generally big comic book fans. They just like every comic book character equally. Obviously, they have their favorite ones, but it seems to them that when it comes to Batman villains specifically, they just seem to have good stories to them. them, right? The Joker has been proven that. Penguin is another very good reason to be proven that, right? So it doesn't seem no surprise here they want to do a Clayface movie because they have like a good story similar to those other stories. So that's what's seems to be the situation here. Batman villains just seem to have good origin stories. You know, you got that sympathetic vibe to them. You got them crazy moments of like feeling risky and like, oh, this is getting real. And it's like a character that is the main character but is bad. So villains are always meant to be like interesting in DC, especially in DC. So I guess this is why they want to do this, right? DC has like the advantage when it comes to not the heroes, but the villains. Marvel's advantage is more like the heroes, right? They got better heroes than their villains. So it seems like DC is just going in their comfortable route of telling stories from a villain's perspective because they're good at that anyways when it comes to the movies, right? DC just does it better with movies than Marvel. The only movies Marvel is able to do that are villain related are like Deadpool, and that's it. So, I mean, they're doing something they're already good at. Penguin and Joker are already proof of that. And I think that's the main reason they're going for that. So, yeah, you got any? Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be on this movie? I mean, we of course know Clayface, but who do you think from the DCU it's going to be on the movie? Like, who will we see that we've seen so far or that we know of?
Well, a lot of people are already saying Batman's going to be in the movie, at least at the very end, that he's going to kick Clayface's ass or he's going to fight Clayface at the end of this movie, which is a good chance, right? Like, I would be surprised, but also not surprised if Batman shows up in this movie because Batman is time's ticking when it comes to him appearing in the DCU. So that's one way a character, like a very big character, would pop up in this movie. Other characters could also pop in this movie. Anybody in the DCU, really. This is a very solo centered film. This is gonna be a horror film, right? This isn't gonna be your like typical origin build up for a character that's gonna be in a team in the future. This is a horror film focused on one character that is still in a broader universe. So it doesn't seem like any characters would pop up in here, and it doesn't seem like they would have a cameo scene at the end of this movie. But hey, it's possible. It's not like impossible because this is in a broader universe. They're just treating it like a Joker film in a universe where you're gonna see Clayface in the future, definitely. But this is not your typical average film. This is definitely a unique film they're trying to do, and it's gonna be rated R. So that's already telling you something, right? This is not your typical Disney film that's gonna get toned down. They're just doing this to like surprise people. No, they got something in their hands that they want to tell that nobody else doesn't know yet. So I have some high expectations when it comes to this movie. I mean, a lot of people are still questioning why this movie, right? So I think, like I said, they got something good.
Okay, I think it sounds very interesting. I'm just very curious about ever since like I knew there was going to be a Clayface movie. I've been very curious about what direction it's going to be going to and what is it that they're going to show you. Show us about Clayface that's going to be, worth a whole movie. So I'm excited, and I do have so many questions, but I do think that there's not going to be a lot of answers because all the questions are about why this movie. So I'm very excited, and I'm just, hoping for it to come sooner rather than later. Because
The only way,
see it soon.
the only way that question is going to be answered why this movie is if this movie becomes really good. You know, if this movie becomes trash and it's like some like generic shit or just trash in general. Yeah, why this movie? That question will never be answered. But it seems like that question will be answered or not when the movie releases that day next year. This movie comes out before a Batman movie in the DC, which is so bizarre to me. But whatever goes, I guess, right? So bizarre to me. A Batman movie is not in the DCU yet, but a Clayface movie is. That is something we live in today's world. That was insane. I'm not really complaining, but whatever. Very, very interesting choice. I know, like, The Brave and the Bold is something, like, that's much more harder to make. So that just makes sense, you know? Batman villains just seem like some people just seem to be more satisfied with Batman villains than Batman himself. And that's okay. But, Batman is the more interesting character here. I don't give a fuck about his weird ass villains. Okay, I mean I do, but you know what I mean. Batman is a better character than his villains. I sometimes I hear people say, "Oh, Joker is so more interesting and better character than fucking Batman." Or whatever you fucking go glamorize that fucking serial killer. Personally, I know where you're coming from, but Batman is just a better character. So that was a little bit of a side rant, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely was. I mean, I'm not ever going to complain about Batman. It's an amazing character for sure, an amazing hero, and I really do like him, especially Robert Pattinson's. That was amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's just going to be very interesting. You know, as you said, seeing Clayface already in the universe and Batman. I'm just waiting for more Batman, honestly. But this is going to also be very interesting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Us Batman fans cannot wait. But hey, guys, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next vid. Peace.
Basically, the little boy that was like, he was really young. He was so sweet. Like, bro,
Hold on, my bad. Nah, you good. Go ahead, take your time, fool. Damn, is this out the city?